Standard Western analysis views global competition through isolated silos. Analysts track commodity markets, debate monetary policy, and monitor AI innovation in entirely separate rooms. This fragmented framework creates a blind spot. It assumes that trade, finance, and technology operate as independent variables, rather than coordinated instruments of state power. In reality, these domains are being deliberately connected through a strategy of weaponized interdependence, an architectural design that turns global reliance into strategic leverage. Viewing these markets as separate entities misses the intent behind them. China treats these sectors as interlocking parts of a single plan for global influence. View this influence as an autocratic stack. The physical base controls critical minerals. The financial middleware uses alternative networks to bypass the US dollar. The top software layer deploys AI for algorithmic governance. Dominating this vertically integrated stack generates a multiplicative effect for global leverage. The Bayan Obo mining complex in Inner Mongolia is the center of this physical layer, the most productive rare earth mine on Earth. This chart reveals China's rare earth market share. In raw mining, China controls 70%. China maintains a 12 to 15 times advantage in patent filings over the United States, producing nearly 3,000 applications annually. These patents cover the precise alloy compositions and recycling methods necessary for next-generation hardware, creating a layer of technological dependency. Even if Western nations successfully establish new mines, they remain tied to Chinese intellectual property to refine and process the materials they extract. Dominating a physical commodity is only effective if the state can also control the financial pathways used to trade it. Most global trade currently moves through dollar-denominated financial messaging systems like SWIFT. This reliance allows the U.S. to deploy financial sanctions as a primary tool of foreign policy. The digital yuan, or ECNY, provides a sovereign alternative to that Western infrastructure. Unlike decentralized cryptocurrencies, this is a centrally controlled digital currency. To handle trade at the macro level, China built the Cross-Border Interbank Payment System, or CIPS. SWIFT is a messaging system instructing banks to move money. CIPS is a central hub processing the actual transactions directly through Chinese central bank infrastructure. This model allows for near real-time settlement while removing the need for corresponding banking relationships and Western oversight. Chinese state-owned enterprises are now using this architecture to settle energy and raw material contracts with Belt and Road partner nations in yuan. The design follows a specific sanctions resilience calculation, informed by observing Western financial actions against nations like Russia and Iran. Controlling the supply of critical minerals and the digital network used to pay for them provides functional immunity from traditional financial sanctions. At the top of the stack, the strategy moves into high-tech urban environments where data governance and AI are deployed. Algorithmic statecraft prioritizes the use of artificial intelligence for political control and social regulation over traditional administrative efficiency. The social credit system is a primary example, using big data to evaluate citizen behavior and automate the distribution of services, housing, and mobility. This is integrated with facial recognition networks and predictive policing algorithms. These systems sift through historical data to forecast and preempt political dissent. This massive infrastructure is increasingly funded through the commercialization of AI tokens, the basic unit of data processed by large-scale models. This curve tracks daily AI token consumption in China, scaling from 100 billion to over 140 trillion. As the fundamental settlement unit, reaching this volume allows the state to instantly monetize vast datasets generated by its surveillance systems. The revenue generated by this token model is immense. Chinese AI firms are recording a full year's worth of 2025 revenue in just 20 days. The integration of social control and commercial data processing transforms algorithmic statecraft into a self-funding technological engine for the state. This integrated stack is no longer limited to China's domestic governance. It is being distributed globally. Through the digital Silk Road, this entire system of surveillance and financial infrastructure is being sold to developing nations in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The ideological framework is cyber sovereignty, a principle China promotes at summits like the World Internet Conference. Cyber sovereignty advocates for absolute state control over national digital environments. This stands in opposition to the Western model of an open, decentralized internet. China uses international forums like the United Nations to legitimize this model. They are working to rewrite global governance norms to favor state-led digital control. By exporting this infrastructure, China is fracturing the global digital ecosystem and making digital authoritarianism a standard model for governance worldwide. Western democracies face a severe timeline mismatch when trying to compete with this stack. This chart compares the speed of physical industrial development against digital AI scaling. Developing a single new rare earth mine to commercial production takes 10 to 15 years due to permitting, environmental reviews, and construction. In contrast, AI models and token usage scale exponentially in weeks. The digital layer moves much faster than the physical base. Reactionary export controls and isolated industry subsidies offer little resistance to a vertically integrated system that scales in weeks rather than decades. Responding to weaponized interdependence requires more than isolated policies. It requires Western democracies to engineer a synchronized, vertically integrated technological ecosystem of their own.